Hello and welcome everyone. In today's lesson we are going to look at conditionals, also called if sentences. When we say conditionals, that means there should be two parts, where one part begins with if and the other part starts with the result. I'm going to explain this in details, so stay focused. We are going to talk about a couple of things for each and every single one of them. The formulation and the usages. The form means the structure of every condition. What about the usage? It means how do we use this structure, or why do we even use it in the first place? Now, in English we have four kinds of conditionals. Let's begin with zero condition. You can think of something that is always 100% true. When I mention or say zero conditional sentence, that means I'm talking about a fact. A fact, what does it mean? Do you know? A fact means something that is always true. It was true and it will be true. For instance, if ice melts, it becomes water. As you all can see here in this sentence, we start our sentence with if plus subject plus present simple or simple present, comma, subject plus present simple. We use this structure to express a fact. We can classify facts. It can be either a scientific fact or a physical fact. For example, it's easier to relax if you close your eyes. That's a fact. We can never change it. That's all I can say about zero conditional sentence. Let's move on to the first conditional sentence. Starting from the first one, we are going to talk about modal verbs. We use this condition to talk about likely situation or a likely situation. That means something that might happen in the future. For instance, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. So what is the condition here? Do you know? That's right. If you study hard, that's a condition. What is the result of studying hard? Passing or succeeding in the exam. So here we have a condition and a result. Something that might happen in the future. If you do your best and study hard, you will succeed. There is some extra point or note that you should be careful with. For example, if you see Rhonda, take her number phone for me. So here we don't have a future, we don't have any modal verb. Why? Because here we have an imperative sentence. When we start our sentence with a verb in infinitive, that's called imperative. It's time to go over the second conditional sentence. The second conditional sentence describes a hypothetical situation. Do you know what it means? Yes, I bet you do. It's also called an imaginary situation. The situation here is in the present or the future. It's an unlikely situation to happen. For instance, if I had a lot of money, I would buy an expensive car. What is the general rule here? We start our sentence with if plus subject plus past simple tense, comma, subject plus would or might or could, plus the verb in infinitive, or the basic form of the verb. What does this sentence mean? Yup. The meaning is, in reality, I don't have a lot of money. I use the second condition to just imagine having a lot of money. Another example, just to illustrate this point. If he knew her number, he would call her. In the present, the meaning is, in the present, he doesn't know her telephone number. So it's unlikely for him to call her. Okay, there is some note you should be careful with. Past tense is indicating a distance from reality. So the form here is the past simple, but the meaning is not the past. It's the present or the future. So keep that in mind. Finally, we're gonna get to know the third conditional sentence. The third conditional sentence describes a hypothetical situation, but there is a slight difference between the second and the third conditional sentence. What is that difference? Here it is. The situation here is in the past simple tense. It's too late to change anything in the past. There is zero possibility to change anything. So it's an impossible situation to happen. For instance, if I had won the lottery or the lottery, both are right. Lottery means, by the way, something that is regarded as a chance event. If I had won the lottery, I would have bought a house. There is a general rule for this structure. We start our sentence in the third conditional sentence with if plus subject plus past perfect tense, which consists of had plus past participle, comma, subject plus would have plus PP. What is the meaning of that sentence? If I had won the lottery, I would have bought a house. It means the condition here is impossible. In reality, I did not buy a house because I did not win the lottery. There is a question. Why the condition here is impossible? Do you know the answer? Yes, that's right, because it's in the past. We cannot change the past. So that's all I can say about the third conditional sentence. For all the conditionals, we can swap the two parts of the sentences. The machine turns off if you press the button. You will have to buy a ticket if you want to go to the concert. My dog wouldn't have run away if I had closed the gate. It's time to get some exercises. Here's an exercise to test your understanding. Choose the correct answer. Number 1, if she spaces the competition, she would win a prize. Had entered, enters, will enter. Take a guess. Think about it. Right, entered, because here I have the word or the modal verb would in the second part. And not only that, what is the usage for this one? We use the second condition to talk about a hypothetical situation or imaginary situation. Number 2, steam condenses if its space cooled. Was, where, is, been. That's right, is. If it's cooled. Why? Because it's a scientific fact. We can never change it, right? Let's go over number 3. They won't come to the party. Space, we invite them. Look at the meaning of this sentence. Don't just look at the structure or the formulation of the condition. It depends on the meaning. So what is the answer? Unless. They won't come to the party unless we invite them. Number 4, if I had enough money for the project, I space borrows from the bank. Won't have to, wouldn't have to, don't have to, didn't have to. The answer is wouldn't have to. Why? Can you explain the answer? Okay, stay focused. What is the verb here? Had. Is it present or past? That's right, past simple tense. I have a question for you. Had here, Is it a main verb or a helper verb? Will be any difference between a helper and main verb? Yes, there is a big difference between them. If it's a main verb, so the tense it will be or would be past simple tense. But what if we have had as a helper verb? That would be right past perfect tense, had plus the verb in the past participle. So here had is the main verb and it's in the past simple. So the second part we should be using would plus infinitive. So the answer here is wouldn't have to. Number 5, if you can or if you go out, comma please, space me. Some meat. If you go out, please space me some meat. Get me some meat, will get, would have got. Right. Get me some meat. Why? Because it's an imperative sentence. Number 6, if you had a baby girl, space her summer, that's a question, right? As you can see. So the answer is would you call, because here I'm talking about a second conditional sentence because the verb here is had. Had, the past form of have or has. Number 7, if my pen friend space from Italy, again, if my pen friend space from Italy, I will show him around Cairo. Comes, come, came, had come. The answer would be comes. Why? Because the second part is we have in the second part will plus infinitive. So that's the first conditional sentence, and the usage here is a likely situation, a situation that might happen in the future. So we should use comes. Why didn't we choose come? Because my pen friend here is singular noun. So we should add s to the verb. Thank you. I hope I have just got that covered. If you have any question, write a comment below. Thank you.